But actually, since we last spoke, I have used the tapping a lot because it was a crazy intense week with like a lot of things that were out of my control and people just like, acting all crazy, like trying to get me to react or something. And so I did the let it go tapping like 1,000 times. And it was really, really helpful. And beyond
Good.
that, I just kind of tapped to do a lot of pain release and just like, I was like tapping and crying. It was like really intense, just trying to just get it all out because there was so
Good.
much negative energy floating around. And the other thing that has helped me tremendously was just kind of checking in with myself in the midst of like chaos, to tap away all the external energies. And I've been doing that, just like when I'm a little distracted. And when I'm tapping and I'm a little distracted, then I'll tap away the external energies. And it's been really, really helpful. And I have to say that, it didn't make me not go through the cycle of emotions that comes with like, disruptions in your life and stuff, but, or losses. But it did make the cycle, helped me to move the cycle faster and just kind of acknowledge like, okay, I'm going through this. That was a really bad situation. So I feel drained. So now I'm going to, just do what I need to rejuvenate myself. And like, I have to get this work done and do all this. And I'm just going to go into it with a place of like I had to do my taxes all weekend because I procrastinated. And then, and also because people didn't send me paperwork like W-9s and stuff. So I had to figure out what to do when you don't have those. But really, I just procrastinated because I did not want to deal with it, especially to pay like this administration any money. And I just was like, you know what? This is not about doing my taxes. This is just about me getting my life and my business organized and fluid so that I can manage this all with ease. And with that attitude, it was like, it really was helpful. But I had to tap through it because I had like the crazy repair guy or, the landlord person who's now dealing with the raccoon situation from last week. And he's all mad about it. So he's like trying to get me upset. And I'm just like, I have to do taxes, dude. Like, close the door. Goodbye. But the tapping has really been helpful. And it's actually it's helped me to gain some clarity to work further on my intentions.
Perfect.
And it's really, really helping. I mean, honestly, it's like, life does not stop. All the chaos like does not stop. And I feel like a huge sense of accomplishment just getting through all the stuff, all of the things that have gone on around me in the last few weeks and still being able to like stay focused and come back to a positive place. And like, I'm really starting through the spiritual workout work to default like back to a positive place. So when I
Mhm.
fall into the old bad habit of defaulting into this negative place of everything's going to fall apart and it always has, then then I'm like, no, that's not true. Like immediately there's a voice that's telling me like, no, that's not true. And just like you just let yourself feel like this and then we'll move through it. But it's like it's such a trip. I just feel a lot more self-aware. So
Well, you are, and that's moving into more and more consciousness. So to me, spiritual
mhm.
workout is just about living consciously on
Yeah.
purpose. Thinking on purpose, intending on purpose, choosing thoughts
Mhm.
on purpose, like we were just talking with Jen. Do you want to go
Mhm.
into the day thinking, well, this might change, or do you want to go into the day thinking, wow, look what just happened, right? I mean, that's a conscious choice. So your self-awareness, you just become more and more conscious, more and more aware. And I just want to say one thing, because other than brava on the use of
Thank you.
tapping in all these different ways, it is frequency, because that you really start to get a sense of what it does for you. What I want to underscore, Petal, is um, the experience you're having, first of all, with crying. That's fantastic. I think that anybody who's willing to just give themselves 5 minutes, half an hour a day, tap and cry without the tapping, tap without the crying, and some
Mhm.
combination. I mean, it's just release. So that's
Yeah.
always going to be good.
Mhm.
And also, the thing that I want to leave you with is when you talk about, yeah, this thing happened, I tapped like crazy through it. It didn't prevent it from bringing some emotional pain, but I
Mm-hmm.
could tell that it didn't go down the rabbit hole that it might have. Did I sort of
Mm-hmm.
characterize that well?
Definitely, definitely.
Then, then what I want you to know is as you keep going, that load in your system will get lighter and lighter and lighter.
I I feel it even happening now, and it's interesting that you say that because there was a few times where I was like focused, and I'm like, I've got to tune out all of what's happening around me and like handle this business right now. And then all of a sudden, I felt overwhelmed with like grief and sorrow. And I was like, God, what's going on here? Like, I wasn't even thinking about anything. Why? And then I realized, like, that in the last few weeks, it's been so intense that, like, this is just coming up right now because I had a minute to sit still and I just need to release it so it can be gone. And then I can focus. But I can't be like, wait, emotions or sorrow, like, I have to work right now. It's like you have to just let it out. And
Yeah,
sometimes it comes unexpectedly. And I was just happy that I was home. I was in a place where it's like I could just release and it wasn't going to be like affecting other people or
right.
getting into their energy space. And yeah, it was pretty intense, but
Well, and it will
these
be
tools
because,
are so fantastic. They're really helping me a lot.
well, I really applaud your willingness to stick with it because this whole process, it's like the sand in the bottom of the glass of water, right? It looks nice and still until you start spinning it around and then the
Mm-hmm.
glass, right? So that's going on in your system, all this energy that's just been sort of locked in,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so as you're starting, that's what I mean by saying it will lighten over time because critically, when you do some work, tap out some stuff, really transmute and transform energy within your system, and you feel some sense of relief, and then you live some more life, and something happens as though you never experienced that relief. What
Mm-hmm.
you need to know is that, and what I really want to make clear is that anything you did up until that moment is done. It's literally like recording over, when I was a kid, we had tape recorders and you
I
have
had them.
something on there and now you literally tape over it. So whatever was on there before, gone. Tapping is very similar. And this is where it does have that cumulative effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel that. So just keep going.
I totally feel it. It's like
Yeah.
really changing my base vibration. And it's interesting because when I was like maybe like 18 years ago or something, about 20 years ago, I studied shiatsu.
Mm-hmm.
And I just decided, okay, let me like my family was always into like massage and stuff and we were good at it and I did it for all my relatives. So I thought, okay, let me do this as like a way to put myself through school. So I did it before I started college.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never been introduced to all these kind of Eastern energy philosophies in such a way. And it really had a really positive impact on my lifestyle. And, it helped me to make a lot of healthy changes. And I learned so much. And the vibration that I was holding then was just so fantastic because I didn't have all the baggage that I've picked up in the last 20 years. And doing this
Right.
work is really helping me to feel like I'm getting back to that place. And it's like I feel like myself again, and I haven't felt that way in so long. And it's kind of strange because it's like you don't realize what you're carrying with you,
Right.
and
I
all
mean,
of
if you pick up
this.
a pebble every day and throw it in your
Hmm.
backpack, it doesn't seem like much until
Exactly.
enough days go by, enough months, years, and it's like, oh my
Hmm.
God, this backpack weighs a ton. How did that happen?
Exactly. Hmm.
And that's exactly what you're doing. I mean, again, my hat's off to you for
Well, thank you. Thank you.
for
Thank
what you're
you.
doing, and keep going.